Get lit. Get lit. Get lit. Everybody get lit right now. Get lit. Get lit.
So the IT worker at Mar-a-Lago was told that he won't face any charges in the special counsel probe. Of course, it's your man Diamond K in here. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me, by the way. ONFIRE-TV, Radio on Fire, the Diamond K Show. So this Mar-a-Lago employee who, according to the federal court filings that I've seen, implicated former President Donald Trump and two of his aides in this alleged pressure campaign, this campaign that they tried to delete security footage at the Florida resort. He was advised by special counsel Jack Smith's team that he will not face perjury charges after he amended his testimony. Now, that is probably bad news for Donald Trump and all you Trumpites out there. He was assured, this IT worker was assured by federal prosecutors in recent weeks that he is no longer a target of a criminal probe into whether he lied in his grand jury testimony, and he would not be charged for allegedly lying to investigators by telling them that he had no knowledge of efforts to delete footage. Now, this footage was of interest to the Smith team. This change in testimony comes after Smith sent the IT worker a target letter indicating the special counsel was investigating whether he had lied to the grand jury. Now, according to court documents, the reversal also followed inquiries about whether the attorney at the time had a conflict of interest. So, of course, this attorney was representing a Trump aide, another Trump aide, and his co-defendant, Walt Nada. So, Trump's got his employees being represented by the same attorney who he's paying, who are loyal to him. So, of course, the attorney wants the clients to behave in a way that Trump wants. Trump is responsible for the payment. The IT worker, identified in court filings as Trump employee number 4, first denied having any conversation with Trump, Nada, or the Mar-a-Lago maintenance worker about this footage. Back in March, he said this. So Smith's team allegedly, going forward, and in this court filing, they alleged that. But the target letter came, he switched lawyers, documents. Now he retracted his prior false testimony after he got from under the sway of this Trump-paid attorney. Now he has a public defender. But the efforts that Trump made to have the security footage deleted, set forth the superseding indictment. So that's how we got that superseding indictment. And the current attorney, the public defender in Washington, D.C., has not commented, nor should he. But this is not good news for Donald Trump and folks that support the former president. Close aide Nada were first charged in June with numerous counts, including Trump's alleged retention of the National Defense Information classified documents, an alleged scheme in which the pair is accused of working to obstruct the federal probe. Documents that should have been returned, he didn't want to return. They wanted the video, security footage. They tried to delete it. A lot of things. Trump and Nada pleaded not guilty to those charges. However, earlier this year, the cross-examination is going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Stanley Woodward is the attorney that Trump has just been giving to his employees that are, in a little bit of trouble. All of them being represented, it is definitely a conflict of interest. It is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And so more of the co-defendants of Trump have surrendered to Fulton County ahead of the Friday deadline. Several more. These are folks, and this is a whole nother case. So you got case after case after case. So this is in the Georgia case for these alleged efforts to reverse, change the outcome of the state's 2020 election, trying to keep Donald Trump in power. So more folks have turned themselves into the authorities. And in Georgia, in Fulton County, this is a two-part process. So the arraignment is going to happen at a separate time. So this is the arrest part, the fingerprinting, the photos, that kind of stuff. And arraignment is going to happen at a later date. So at least 9 of the 19 people that are facing charges have appeared at the Fulton County jail to be booked. All of those who surrendered were released on bond. None of the 19 have yet entered pleas, since, as I said, this arraignment process is separate from the booking process in Georgia. Trump, who has denied all wrongdoings, said earlier this week that he will turn himself in on Thursday, and he has agreed to the $200,000 bond. Now, a Fulton County grand jury returned a 41-count indictment last week accusing Trump and 18 others in participating in a criminal enterprise that aimed to reverse the former president's loss in Georgia. So Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, who is leading this investigation, gave those charged until noon on Friday. Check my clock here. Let's set this timer real quick. Noon on Friday to surrender themselves. So who has to surrender themselves? So there's these are the folks who have turned themselves in thus far. A number of charges they faced and their bond amount. So Scott Hall, also the same name as a late wrestler. Anyway, this is a Georgia bail bondsman, faces 7 counts, agreed to a $10,000 bond. John Eastman, who is a conservative attorney, he's charged with 9 counts. His bond was set at $100,000. Kathy Latham, a Republican official, faces a total of 11 counts. Her bond was set at $75,000. David Schaefer, a former chairman of the Georgia GOP, is charged with 8 counts. He has agreed to $75,000 bond. Kenneth Cheesebro, a conservative attorney, is charged with 7 counts. His bond was set for $100,000. Ray Smith III is an attorney for Trump's reelection campaign, faces 12 charges. He has agreed to $50,000 bond. Sidney Powell, an attorney who was involved in planning Trump's efforts to contest the election, faces 7 charges. Her bond was set at $100,000. Rudy Giuliani, the former personal attorney to Trump, faces 13 charges. His bond was set at $150,000. And Jenna Ellis, an attorney who was affiliated with the Trump campaign, charged with 2 counts, and she agreed to $100,000 bond. Wow. Giuliani, I never liked Giuliani, for the record, but Giuliani is somebody who I think is really going to get the brunt of this. I don't think that Trump, even though he may be convicted, I don't think that Trump is going to go to jail, like spend time behind bars. Rudy Giuliani, on the other hand, I don't know. He may get thrown under the bus. He spoke with reporters Wednesday morning after he was leaving for Georgia. I'll get photographed, he said, a mugshot of the man who probably put the worst criminals of the 20th century in jail. Yes, but you became a criminal yourself, Giuliani. Eastman said in a statement on Tuesday that he and his legal team plan to contest the charges, and he said he was confident that he will be fully vindicated. Each defendant in this indictment, no less than any other American citizen, is entitled to rely upon the evidence of counsel, the advice of counsel, and the benefit of past legal precedent in challenging what former Vice President Mike Pence described as serious allegations of voting irregularities and numerous instances of officials setting aside state election law. They can say whatever they want. This was definitely a conspiracy, and reporters, have been trying to get words from different ones, but other defendants want their cases moved to federal court. The attorney Jeffrey Clark and Schaefer are seeking to have their prosecutions moved from Fulton County Superior Court to Federal District Court in Atlanta. It is unclear what Schaefer's, this effort to have their cases moved. It's an interesting ploy. It's something that they're doing to try to get time, to just drag out something that Trump does all the time. Mark Meadows, the former White House Chief of Staff, is also trying to have his prosecution moved to a federal court because of the conduct alleged in the indictment. He says involved his work as a federal employee. Now, I don't know how well Mark Meadows knows about history. I don't know how much he knows about Nixon and Haldeman and the fact that Trump's former chief of staff went to jail for things that he did in the White House. It's really frustrating when these so-called elites, so-called white-collar folks think that they are above the law, think that the law does not apply to them. This indictment is very damaging for all of the 19 folks that are listed. I'm not sure how they think that they're going to get off, but many of these people think that they are supposed to get off, think that they are supposed to be above the law. Couldn't charge him while he was president. Now that he's not president, he's running for president. They think that that's going to give him a free pass, Donald Trump and the minions, to just get away with this. It's not going to happen. Giuliani and all of the others are going to have their day in court, and they should have their day in court. So as far as Donald Trump, he is going to have his day. He's going to make it a spectacle, as he always does. He's going to turn himself in on Thursday, and he is going to really try to get coverage. He thinks that doing it in the evening will give him this, prime time coverage, and it is no surprise that he wants to do that, but that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do. It's going to be a remarkable day in actuality. Fulton County is where he's going to surrender. The time is ticking. So this time tomorrow, he will have turned himself in. But as I said, the parade of Trump's co-defendants setting bond, surrendering in an Atlanta jail, the path of accountability, we are here. The ex-president, the kingpin of this alleged election meddling conspiracy, will follow on one of the most jarring days in presidential history. Once again, as with Trump's consolidation of a huge chunk of the Republican Party primary vote through his victim claims, through his witch hunt claims. His potential criminal liability may end up helping him politically in the short term. But when you look at this in the long term, his arrest will definitely overshadow his rivals who are making the splash with the first GOP debate tonight. But after the bond agreements, after it's all over with, after it's all said and done, it's just a real stain, a dramatic series of events. But it is a shame. The campaign, the courtroom, it is a very stark reminder of who we had in office, the legal troubles that he's facing, many more to come, and we're going to be following this. Is the theatrics in Fulton County, the curious case of Mark Meadows, what's going on with him. Not really sure, but we're going to keep you updated as developments continue, as they continue to unfold. Trump has speculated on his social network, his Truth Social network, that Willis thought he might be a flight risk and that he could end up in a gold suit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He thinks that that's funny, but he is a flight risk. But this country is very scared to punish the president or the former president. They're very scared of that. Now, it hasn't happened before like this, but we have not had someone with the kind of criminal exposure that this president has. We have not had someone like that in the office before. And we've had some real pieces of crap in the White House. And we still haven't had one that has had the type of criminal exposure that Donald Trump has. It is something else. It is something else. But we're definitely going to keep you posted on that. The Russian agency and the state folks say that the mercenary leader Prigozhin was aboard a plane that crashed, leaving no survivors. I don't think that anybody is surprised about this. I don't think that anyone is surprised. Many of you thought that, we thought all was forgiven. You knew that this was coming. I mean, if you are a dictator like Vladimir Putin, you cannot have folks that tried to lead a rebellion just walking around like it's all good. So this mercenary leader, Prigozhin, led a brief armed rebellion against the Russian military earlier this year. And he was aboard a plane that crashed north of Moscow today, killing 10 people on board. Now, of course, nothing to see here. I mean, any plane that Prigozhin was on board of was not going to be safe. The crash immediately raises suspicions on the fate of the founder of the Wagner private military company. And I mean, no one is surprised. The only thing that surprises me is that he's lived this long after the rebellion that he tried to do. At the time, Putin denounced this as treason and a stab in the back, and he vowed to avenge it. But charges against Prigozhin were soon dropped. And the reason why is because, he is head of a military force Putin didn't want that kind of smoke, so make it seem like it's all good, and then, you know, his plane falls out the sky. That is how things go. It's like the mafia, really. So this Wagner chief, he had troops, some of the best fighting forces of Russia in Ukraine. They were allowed to retreat to Belarus while reportedly popping up in Russia from time to time. The crash comes after Russian media reports that a top general linked to Prigozhin was dismissed from his position as commander of the Air Force. A plane carrying 3 pilots and 7 passengers that was en route from Moscow to St. Petersburg went down almost 185 miles north of the capital, according to officials cited by Russia's state news agency. And President Joe Biden said, "I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised." That is coming from Joe Biden. And a Russian expert named Giles said that international affairs think tank urged caution about reports of Prigozhin's death. He said multiple individuals have changed their name to Prigozhin as part of efforts to hide his travels. Let's not be surprised if he pops up shortly in a video from Africa, Giles said. Flight tracking data reviewed by Associated Press showed that a private jet that Prigozhin had used previously took off from Moscow on Wednesday evening, and its transponder signal disappeared minutes later. The signal stopped suddenly while the plane was at an altitude and traveling at speed. In an image posted by a pro-Wagner social media account showing the burning wreckage, a partial tail number matching a jet previously used by Prigozhin could be seen. So is he gone? Is he not? I say that he's gone. All reports we'll keep you up to date with. Of course, your man Diamond K in here, the Diamond K Show on Fire-TV. Radio on Fire. I am here weekdays at 6 p.m. And, for those that are just tuning in, let me say this real quick. ONFIRE-TV is a progressive media company for news and entertainment. We reach over 4.6 million people a month through our various media assets, which include our flagship program, The Diamond K Show, but as well as our other ONFIRE-TV programs, Radio on Fire, and our highly engaged social media channels. And, ONFIRE-TV is the streaming home of this show, The Diamond K Show, Jay Jackson Live, and other original content. We are unapologetically progressive. Now, many of our hosts and writers are varied and diverse. Our opinions generally fall somewhere on the center left to the left of the modern American political system. This platform was founded by myself in 2012. We are steadily growing. We are having fun. I encourage you to join the movement. Visit us at onfire-tv.com, The Diamond K Show. Become a member. Support our journey as we continue to have conversations on politics, on news, on culture, on entertainment, social justice, sports, education, business, finance. We cover it all. Now, djdiamondk@gmail.com. You want to get in touch with me, as I said, thediamondkshow.com, on Fire-TV. On all social media, I am at The Diamond K Show. Of course, I will see you guys tomorrow. Definitely stay tuned to everything we have going on. I appreciate the support.
Get lit. Get lit. Get lit. Everybody get lit right now. Get lit. Get lit. Get lit. Everybody get lit right now. Park Heights get lit right now.